Hi everybody, it's FIBO Group, and you are watching to the Market Watch review. The global response to Russia's invasion in Ukraine was a game changer, as Fed Chair Powell said yesterday. According to NISER, a UK-based research organization, the world's output will drop by 1% in the next year. Yesterday's recovery in US stocks may have contributed to the rise of Asia-Pacific shares. However, Europe's Stoxx 600 has a softer version. The US dollar is strong. The most resilient currencies have been the Australian and Canadian dollars. The CAD was trading at its highest level since January, but it is consolidating these gains after yesterday's 25 BP rate increase. The Austalian dollar has reached its highest level since mid-November. The brunt of the burden is being borne by major European currencies, the Swiss Franc and emerging market currencies. The price of gold is in a very narrow $13 range, mostly below $1935. April WTI briefly climbed above $116.50 per barrel, but is still firm. Asian Pacific market. Japan's composite and final PMI readings were updated, but they remain in contraction territory. They are more so than January. The dollar trades at JPY 115.80, which is close to its two-week highs. The revisions to Australia's composite PMI and final service were higher than originally expected. Also, the January trade surplus was larger than anticipated. Since mid-November, the Australian dollar has reached its highest level of almost $0.7325. Market of Europe. Russia's financial restrictions continue to tighten. MSCI and FTSE have begun to drop Russian stocks due to sanctions. Moody's and Fitch reduced Russia's junk rating. In the final estimate, the composite PMI and flash services of France and Germany were lower than expected. However, Italy and Spain surprised with their positive results. The euro spends more time below $1.11. The session high was slightly higher than 1.1120. Yesterday's session high was just below 1.1150. Today marks the 8th consecutive session in which the euro has set lower highs. The UK follows the same pattern as France and Germany. Although the flash PMI reading was slightly lower than January's, it was still an improvement over January. Sterling has performed better than the euro, but appears to be range-bound between $1.3270 and $1.3440. Market of America. Today, the Senate heard testimony from Fed Chair Powell. Yesterday's measured remarks and clear endorsement for a 25 BP increase later in the month by Powell, the Fed chair, were well received. However, Powell reserves the right to accelerate later if necessary. The fourth quarter productivity, as well as unit labor costs, are included. The U.S. also receives the final market and composite PMI and ISM services. The Bank of Canada announced the first of a series of hikes that will continue well into next year. Last week, the U.S. dollar reached CAD 1.2880 as the highest level for the year. Yesterday, it was below the CAD 1.2650 and CAD 1.2660. That's all for me. Closely monitor the news background and be prepared for all the surprises of the market.